So the first one I have is Close Friends from 2021. Yeah, like
Okay.
I feel like it's so overlooked. It's so good. Even though it's like they're short stories.
Do you have like a favorite couple?
So my favorite one, I think it is their names are Ray and Jedi, but it's Copter and Kimon.
I like Copter's couple. I'm just biased because I really love them. Like, and then I'm also biased, so I liked First's couple, like Mujum or whatever his name is, because I love First, so I'm biased.
At the time of watching it, me and my dad were so obsessed with Prom and Dean.
Uh-huh.
We're just watching everything that they're in. So no matter what they're in together, we will watch it. So we watched it, and I was like obsessed with and Fluke, and then I went to watching Jedi's and Rey's. I found it really interesting. My dad and I were like, is this reality? Is this not reality? What's true? What's not? Are they gonna get together? Do they know of each other? I love this season 2 as well. Honestly, I feel like it was so creative though, compared to like most things. And I kind of wished it was longer though, because
it's literally almost like an Our Sky season.
Oh yeah,
in
really.
and of itself, because it has all the different couples with their own like section.
Do you want to go next?
Oh yeah. Okay. So my number one is Great Men Academy. It's from 2019. I really, really like it. It's got a really unique plot, and the acting is really well done, and the build up to the relationship is really good. And it has one of those where like the first crush is kind of overlooked and taken for granted, and something has to happen for the other person to realize how much the other one means to them. And what happens is very like it gets ya, but it's so good. That's why it's so good.
Oh yeah, I've seen the promotion for it back then.
It's really, really good. I don't know if I've ever actually seen another BL that has the same plot, because like there's ones that are set in academies like this, but the plot of what happens in the academy I haven't seen anywhere else. So it has a very, very unique plot, and it has like virtual reality and like competition. It's really good. It's kind of sci-fi-ish. But I feel like nobody ever talks about it, and it's actually really incredible. And I'm surprised that nobody ever talks about it. And the chemistry is really, really good, and I love the build up to the relationship, which I said already, but like it has a very, very good build up. I love when that like in shows, like throughout most of the season, there'll be one person that's like kind of in charge of like showing that they have feelings for the other, and the other one's kind of not like super receptive to it, and then something shifts, and then that dynamic switches, and then it's the other person like trying to show how much they love them because they don't want them to think they were taken for granted, and that's what happens in this. And so I love that trope, and it's very good.
I kind of remember it, but I kind of like, why didn't I watch it back then either? Like,
it took me, I didn't watch it when it first came out because it was so kind of different, and when in 2019 I was still watching the like more basic traditional BLs that like had the same kind of story, like Love by Chance kind of setup.
yeah.
So I watched this like a year after. I watched it in like 2020 when lockdown happened. I've started binge watching a bunch of shows on my list, like my TBR list or to be watched list, whatever. And this was one of them. And then I watched it and really, really liked it. Was pleasantly surprised.
Oh, my next one. He's Coming to Me. 2019, 8 episodes.
Yes, I almost put this on my list. I didn't end up going, but I love this show. I'm so happy it's on yours.
And the fact that it didn't get like the recognition it deserved, I was just like, it's so good though.
Yeah, different colors for the different ghosts.
Yes.
And he thinks he knows how he died, but it's not how he actually died.
Yes. And then like the whole like giving him clothes thing when like they burn his clothes, they burn the clothes and he's like, no, not good. Nope, not good. I was like, oh my god. Oh, it's so good. And I think they re-released it as well. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure they did that.
Yeah. And then they like within the last like couple of years they released it for free on YouTube on their channel because it wasn't always on YouTube. And now it is.
I don't know why I think I watched it on YouTube when it was coming out because they had
it. They like aired it like on YouTube, but it got taken off like a year after it was. They like took it off and it wasn't on there anymore. and then they like re-released it onto YouTube not too long ago, like 2 or 3 years ago.
And the fact, and it's kind of interesting. It's like I didn't even know that they took it off.
Hmm.
I
I
honestly
don't know
thought
why. I mean, they do that sometimes.
mm.
Like, I don't know if it's to like make room for other shows or whatnot, but they've done it before. But I don't know why they like took it off.
And I honestly, for a moment, when I was like, "Oh, I watched this show," and I went to look for it, and it wasn't there, I was like, "Was it a fever dream?
Hmm.
Am I
The
like,
Mandela effect.
am I not part of this world?" And then they re-released it, and I was like,
I'm so happy they did because I didn't watch it when it was coming out, and it was on my list to watch, but I didn't know where to watch it. And then it like I'd already seen it by the time it came out on YouTube. I just watched it like not legally. And then it came out on YouTube and like I wanted to give it views and like write comments. I love reading comments as I'm rewatching shows because I already know what's happening in the show, so I can kind of scroll in the comments and sometimes they're really funny. So I'm like, haha, I thought like that too. And so I went through the comments. It was so good. I was so happy they released it, like officially. And then it was like during a time when like a boom of like BL watchers was coming out. So then it got a whole bunch of more like steam and it got popular again. I also had Ohm in it, and like it was around the time of Bad Buddy. And so everybody's like, yeah, Ohm's in this too.
hasn't been like 5 BLs or 6 BLs at this point?
He's in so much stuff. Because he was in Make It Right too.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, in season 1 and 2. That's when I first saw him for the very first time. That was when he had braces.
Oh my god, I completely forgot he had braces in that.
Yeah, and he was like so small. Like he was not muscular at all. He was like a little puny. And so cute.
That's so adorable. Okay, so your second one now.
My second one is Papa and Daddy.
I was just
I
putting him on
I feel like it even has 2 seasons. So like I feel like it should have a lot bigger fan base than it does, especially since it's about 2 fathers raising a kid. And like it's handled very maturely and very realistically, and like it's a very loving relationship. It's a very good home. It's a great example of raising a child with 2 same gender parents, and it's really good. Like I don't know why it's so under, there's so much love and like overcoming struggles and obstacles. So I feel like it's a really good show. It's just never like talked about. I didn't even see any like real promotions for it. I found it on my own, like by accident. Like usually I at least see like some stuff come through my For You page or like when I'm looking on like the web and stuff, but I didn't really see anything for this. And then I watched it and I was like, whoa. Even the first and second season are both good.
I think I didn't get the opportunity to watch the first season when it was coming out, but I did um get it on my For You page when the second season was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very interesting the fact that I feel like there was more promotion for the second one.
Agree. Very agree.
So I was very confused on why. I'm like, why did I not?
I think it's because like the first season didn't have like a super big audience, but it was like the audience it had was very passionate about the show.
Yeah.
So like it kind of drove them to like make promotions for the second season because the people that were interested they were all like, yeah, like they really wanted like promotions for it because they loved the show so much, because it does cover a topic that like isn't covered all the time or isn't covered in the best ways. And this is a very healthy like showing of it.
I believe this is the most healthiest I've ever seen it.
I love the family dynamic.
Especially when the oldest child comes in to the
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was not prepared for him. I was like, hold up, I need some time.
It shows so many like realistic family dynamics though.
Might have to rewatch it just because it's so good.
And the chemistry between the characters is very good. They look like they like love each other and like have been husbands for years, you know.
Right? It does seem like that, doesn't it?
Number 3.
Okay. So I have My Gear in Your Gown, 2020, 12 episodes.
This was also almost made my list.
I love how my almost made your list and your almost went into my
Yeah.
list. Of course, it's not the most breakout type of BL ever,
Hmm.
but it was interesting to see how doctors like perceive this whole like situation.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought the parents weren't gonna like agree with this whole situation, even though I was like, you're doctors, you have to like understand this more.
Yeah.
Hi. Oh my god, his character. I always felt I don't know why I always feel so bad for him. Because
Hmm.
like yeah, his parents were never there. Like I was just like, why is he so lonely? Um oh my god, and the whole earring. I don't know, have you watched it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
And
I
then
loved the show. The only thing I have sometimes have trouble with are slow burns. And
ah
this was definitely a slow burn. So like it took me a while to get through it because I was watching it as it was coming out. And then at like episode like 7 or 8, I lost some steam. So it like took I like had to take a break and then I came back and then I binge watched the rest. And it was really good.
I think this is the first time that I've actually agreed with this slow burn.
It was I loved the patience and like there was some miscommunication, don't get me wrong, but like they both just wanted the other person like they just wanted to take care of each other.
Mm-hmm.
But they weren't like vocalizing it. They were like physically trying to do it and like not say anything. And so like there was miscommunications that were happening as they were just trying to take care of each other.
Yeah, oh my god. The whole like situation where the fact that they were like, "Oh, we're gonna move" type situation at the end.
Hmm.
Oh no, no, anything but this. I don't need a season 2. I don't need like a cliffhanger. And then they were like, "Well, you don't have to go." And I was like, "Yes! Oh my god." I honestly thought that he was actually gonna go with his parents.
Hmm.
Because he's that type of person. They'd be like, "Okay, yeah," even though he doesn't want to, he doesn't speak up, and you're just like,
Yeah. He would do it for them
"Mm-hmm."
to like make them happy. My third one is I almost put this higher, but like that's only because of my personal like attachment to it. But like overall, I think it's good where it is. But it's Knitman the series. I
Ah.
don't know if you've seen it. I've talked about it once before because it is one of my favorite comfort BLs to watch. And it's based off of a GOT7 fanfic.
Yes, I have not watched it yet, but
It's super
you
good. It's one of those that have I really like ones that have like public flirting where like there's one character that is very vocal about the fact that he likes the other character and the other character like enjoys the flirting but won't outright say that they like the other character either, but they won't be like they won't be like upset about it. They just, and that has that kind of dynamic in it. Like the one that's supposed to be JV
mm-mm.
is like very vocal and like flirty around his friends and does it to embarrass the one that's supposed to be Jin Young. And so Jin Young gets like bashful, but he doesn't hate it, but he doesn't want to admit that he likes him because he's a boy. But like it has I just there's so many cute fluffy moments and I love cute fluffy BLs, so it was great to watch. But it's one of those that like went under the radar because it's not like you said before, it's not like amazing and it's not outbreaking and it's not gonna like, you know, make any awards or anything like that. But it is just like really good. And it's so overlooked. The acting really isn't that bad. It's just slow. It's like a
Mhm.
slower one. There isn't like intense like scenes like that. Like it's more fluffy. So there's like kissing and like pecking and stuff. And there's like some like touching, but there's no like it's not Kim Porsche.
I don't think anything could be as Kim Porter, just Kim
Yeah.
Porter.
But it's so good. I wish I had more hype because it's really good. And I love that it's based off of GOT7 fanfic.
I think I'll be giggling the whole time. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it cracks me up because I know who all these people are supposed to be.
My next one, I guess, is Ton Ton. Ton.
Chonmati.
Yes, I think I fell in love with it first because the main character are so lovable.
Hmm.
It has like a love triangle ish. Not
Hmm.
really.
It also has like one of the first surrogate mother plots I haven't really seen too many like where the friend becomes a surrogate mother for a gay character's like children, you know?
What wasn't it like? Oh man, they also were like, oh yeah, she can also be in the baby's life.
Yeah. They like all stayed friends.
Yes. I think it was also the last time we saw what's their names together.
Top Tap.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And Mike.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's sad.
And look, I
Like
remember being
that show.
so upset. I remember like, give me a kiss scene. Like they're gonna
Mhm.
like don't do it off screen. I was so.
It's so crazy because I originally watched that show because of Pod because it was coming off of Dark Blue Kiss,
Mhm.
and so everybody was like really into Pod. And Cat, that was like one of Cal's earlier, like that was his first main role because before he was kind of side characters and stuff. Like he was a best friend in Together the series, but he didn't really have like a huge part. He was just a best friend.
Mhm.
And then this was his first like main role, but everyone was kind of coming for Pod. And like as soon as this aired, Cal's like acting career like took off because he
Yeah.
had such like capabilities. Okay. I don't know if you heard any of what I said.
I think you ended your thing, but I'm not too sure how much farther you went.
I don't know. I was just saying that like people were kind of watching for Pod because it was coming off Dark Blue Kiss, and like Cal was building up his acting like repertoire with like he had side characters, and then he did this as his first main character, and then he did Eclipse, and like his career skyrocketed because every single character he'd done was so different to the last one. And so I was like originally coming because of Pod, and then I left being like, Cal, love Cal.
I think I watched it because of Cal.
Hmm. I loved Miriam though. She became one of my favorite characters.
Yes.
Please.
Oh my god, yes. I like to compare it to like Sammy's character until we meet again. I think you're number 4 now.
Yeah. So my number 4 is I Will Knock You.
Oh,
Have you seen it?
I think so.
It's a more recent show. Came out within like the last year or two. And it's also another one of those like it's kind of slow burny, but it has to be because it's between um like a senior in high school or like somebody who's in high school and somebody who's in college. And they don't really have the best relationship at first, but like they kind of eventually find out that they kind of like each other, but they can't do anything because one is too young. So like we have to wait till he gets to college. But he's gonna try that whole time to break down the other guy's morals and get him to date him. But it's really cute, and it has like the main high school guy. His style is like oldie style, so he has like slicked back hair, and he wears like old time clothes and listens to old time music, and it's kind of refreshing to see that like portrayed in a BL. Usually they're all set like in regular fashion and stuff. So
Mhm.
it was really cool to go back and like see people dress and act and consume stuff from the old times, which they show, and it's an important part of the show. So it was cool to see that. It's just very cute and fluffy.
Oh, okay, I have it on my list now. I literally have a notebook right here of like every time we talk, I put put everything on my list.
Hmm. I
Um,
watched it as it was coming out, and I feel like not a lot of people were really watching it. A lot of things, it's one of those shows. I feel like a lot of these shows we're talking about, they come out at the same time as a couple other BLs, and one or two of those BLs are more popular than this one, so it falls through the cracks because everybody's focused on a different BL that's coming out at around the same time and has episodes coming out like, the same week. And
mm,
this is one of those shows where it was airing when like two or three other ones were airing. So everybody was focused on those and nobody focused on this one. And it fell through cracks because I think it's actually really good. It also has all new actors.
oh,
It was one of those that it's like a whole new cast of people. So it doesn't have I don't think it has any actors that are from any other previous shows. So it was refreshing to get a whole new cast. That also like sometimes people don't want to watch whole new ships that they don't know anything about. They want to invest in a ship that they already like. So I feel like that happens sometimes too.
mhm. my number 5.
Hmm.
It's only 3 episodes long. It's from 2020, and it's called Skinship.
Oh, okay. I've
Um,
seen it.
yes, okay. I think it had a season 2, but I don't think I remember watching it all that well.
This is the one that has Best in it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was before checkout, right? Or it was like after the episode 0, but before the actual show had aired, right? It was like in
Yeah.
between.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons why I like it so much, is because I got diagnosed with the character got diagnosed with it. I was like suffering with it, and he had it, and I was just like, I'm emotionally attached to you right now. I can't. So yeah, that's one of my main reasons. Your 5th one?
Okay, so my 5th one is I don't know if it's like actually underrated or overlooked. I feel like it is because of who's in it and that it's good. I feel like it wasn't because I think it's still semi popular, but I feel like it's not as popular as it should be, and that's Love from Outer Space with Off and Gunn.
It sounds so familiar. I think I've watched
It's
it.
on YouTube, but it's Love from Outer Space, and it's where Gunn is an alien that shows up in Off's house.
It sounds so familiar.
It's really good. The relationship between the two is really cute because it's like because Gunn's supposed to be an alien and not understand anything.
Oh yes,
It's like
yes.
yeah. They have like a sweet like relation. They like build very slowly off like getting feelings for Gunn's character. And it's shot really beautifully, and I think they did a lot with what they had because they did it so quickly. I don't remember if they had a big budget or not, but it's only like in 1 or 2 locations, but it doesn't feel like it's claustrophobic or anything. And the writing is very good. The build up is really good. I just feel like it's not as popular as it should have been.
Oh my god. I don't know why I completely forgot about this.
See, you know what I mean? Like
I
yeah.
watched it, but you said it, and I was like, I don't know if I watched it. And then looking at the pictures now, I'm like, yes, I watched this.
It's good.
I loved my favorite part of the whole show was or movie or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's like a mini movie.
Was the colorations that they used.
Mhm.
I love the colors. I'm
It's
usually
also refreshing. I don't think we have alien plots. I know
um
there's plenty of like straight like K-dramas that have like when
mm,
they're like kitsune and they're like foxes and stuff, but I don't think we've had like dogs where they've been like part dog or like, part animal, but I don't think we've had an alien.
I think the only alien BL that I can think of right now at this moment is the new one with Barcode and Jeff.
Oh, yeah. See, like there wasn't really that was a new plot at the time.
I still
And
think
it's
it's
still a
better
new plot. Nobody really does it.
because everyone either does there's the mafia, there's engineering.
Mhm. There's some kind of school or college, like high
Mhm.
school college. There's musicians.
Yes.
There's like at work, like in the office, like stuff. And then we have like the crush species where like choco milk shake where they're like part animal. We've gotten a couple of those.
Yes.
So we have got meow mixed up as part cat. So we have like a couple of animal ones, but no alien.
Yep. Wow. I don't even think we even have that many vampire ones either, or werewolves at all.
Mm-mm.
I think the only vampire ones we have are in Korea.
Yeah.
I don't even think there's.
Well, flukes.
Oh yes, but
That's one, but it's like very, nobody really knows that. Like, there's also like only one now that I'm like we were trying to think of them, and there isn't very many. Well, there is one more. No, I think it's Korean. Never mind. You're right.
Korean have the vampires.
Yeah, Discipline Z is another vampire one, but it's Korean.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I remember watching that and be like, even though it's
Mhm.
low budget, it's so good.
Yeah, and then the actor from that show was on the dating show, the Korean dating show. Yeah, how many honorable mentions do you have?
I have 3.
Okay, I have 4. Ito, sorry.
So, do you want to do rapid fire on them?
Sure.
So I got Remember Me. So my next one, it's a Korean one. I feel like all Korean ones are pretty popular, but I don't remember seeing too much about this one. It's called Wish You. And then my last one, back to Thailand. I got Oxygen. I feel like no one really talks about Oxygen as much as I hope they will. Okay, your rapid fire.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second. I lost my list while you were talking, and I've been trying to find it so that it would I would have it in time, but I didn't. So give me a second while I try to find it.
Okay, don't worry.
Okay, I found it.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one is The Night Beyond the Tri-Cornered Window.
It's familiar. I think I might have seen a trailer to it.
Mm-hmm. It's good. And then because that was kind of like a bromance-y one, I put a slash, and then I had like a secondary option, and that was Why Destiny.
Oh, I almost put that on my list too.
And then my next one is also a Japanese one. I can't say, I'm not going to try to say the Japanese title, but the English title is No Touching at All. My next one is from China, and it's Precise Shot.
Oh my god.
And then my last one is called, I actually changed this one because originally it was Flukes that we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They're like Red Wine and the Dark Knight or whatever. And then I decided to change it because I really liked this one, and it's called Craving You.
For the most emotional BL that I have ever watched, and probably more tears per episode that I can give, Until We Meet Again. There's no way of going around this. If you watched this show and did not cry at least once or twice in an episode, I don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I revoke your human card. Like, literally the first scene is probably where it gets you. Like, you don't know anyone, but yet you're crying.
Yeah. Literally in the first 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. They don't even give you a chance to breathe. They were like, we're just gonna hit you right out of the box, giving you this scene. No.
Full super heavy topic right out the gate.
Mm-hmm. And I think,
and then they show it to you again. Once you're now attached to the characters and now you understand what's going on and you love them, they show it to you again.
Mm-hmm. I think they showed it at least 3 or 4 times to really hit you with it.
Really drill it in there.
I remember the first time sobbing, even though I didn't know who they were necessarily, but I knew it was a sad scene and I know what's going on. And then you see it again later on and knowing more context, and then you get just progressively more sad because you just know what happened before that. And then they extend it out to what happened before
Yeah.
And you're just it's just the build up and the build up and the build up. And you're just and it had to come to that. You're just oh my god.
It has such good writing too.
So good.
Especially for how complicated and messy it could have been with all the family members and relationships and stuff.
I think what really helped with that was the fact that everyone in the community was trying to figure it out as it was going along.
My number 1 for most emotional was History 3 Make Our Days Count. It's so, I feel like it's one of the most emotional. Obviously, I put it as number 1. So I think it's one of the most. It's definitely the one that has wrecked me the most. When I watched this as it was coming out, and I knew nothing about it, and I had watched all of the histories up until this point, and not one of them had ended sad. So I was not expecting it at all. And then it came out of nowhere, and literally I was a wreck for a week. It's so sad.
Oh god. My second one is also History Maker.
This is the one that when I said there's one that I know for sure is going to be on both of our lists, it was this one.
I was debating on that because my first one and my second one, but I put it at my second one because I think Until We Meet Again wrecked me every single week. Where Make Our Days Count
saved it all for the end.
Yep. It was we'll slap you at the end. Heart, slap. Oh,
Hmm.
oh my god, I was not prepared for that ending.
But I love that there's still like an unofficial ship because they've made cameos and like other shows. Yeah, they were like in My Tooth Your Love, like when they met at the bar. I was like, oh, I would love for them to be in something again. They were in like Love on the Line, and like yeah, when it was so good. There's like so my number 2.
Yes, you're number 2.
My number 2 is Guardian, which I've talked
Oh,
about
that
before,
coming.
the Chinese one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It like has some hurt throughout. It saves the really, really big one for the end. The
Mm-hmm.
like soul crushing hurt for the end, like the last 2 episodes. But there's like some moderate pain throughout the show while you're like figuring out the past that they shared together.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the big one at the end that really like sucks the air out of your lungs and it hurts. For the same reason that Make Our Days Count hurts. Like when they're like meant to be together and they're soulmates and one of them gets taken from the other, it's like, oh.
My next one is Game Boy.
Okay.
So the scene where when Cairo tells Gabriella about how his dad died.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, I'm such a daddy's girl. And when he was explaining that and like he was tearing up and crying and like explaining why he's so like distant with his family and like the whole reason was the fact that he ran away.
Yeah.
And he's just there and he's like giving his whole heart and telling this. And I remember being like crying and being so miserable because I didn't see that coming. Even though I was something like that, especially during COVID, like was bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just like, not the dad. Like, it really hit me hard because I'm just like, it was at the time, it was like so real because like COVID was like really rampant during the time.
Yeah.
And, like so worried because my dad was like also like an essential worker, so he had to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And while me and my mom stayed literally inside for like a month or 2. And we're like so worried that my dad was gonna get it. I mean, watching that, I'm like tearing up and like crying and like the whole like his coming out wasn't the best type
Yeah.
thing.
My number 3 is The Best Story.
Best story.
It's got Yin and War in it.
Yes.
Where they're in school.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurt me because it was so obvious that they both were so in love with each other. And then the ex-girlfriend ruined it and told the mom, and then they never saw each other again.
My next one. This is the one where I'm like, this is when I told you where I was like, people might not understand this one. I put Kissable Lips.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I get that. I definitely get that. I cried like a baby on the last episode. I still think about it. It still hurts.
Just the fact where it's been a year and he's still thinking of him, and like he sees
he didn't get to give him the ring,
but he got the photo instead.
Mm-hmm. The whole like last part where he was like, I knew it was gonna happen when he was laying on the couch and he got close to him and then he started feeling it. I was like, no, wake up. Please wake up. Somebody wake him up so he could give you this ring. And then he went and like, it was so sad. They'd finally like given into each other and decided to be together and make it work. And then that happened.
And then I'm just like, I'm kind of happy because the season 2 is gonna come out, or like they're in the talks of a season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Next one for you.
My number 4 is The Untamed. I feel like it's already emotional, but I actually think I read the book first. And then I watched the show, but the ending for the movie is so sad. And like even the fact just that in the book there's a lot more like what Lang Wangji goes through and after Wei Wuxian like dies, but like for 13 years he thought his soulmate and the love of his life, who he never confessed to, died because he wasn't standing with him when he could have done it. So like he felt like his death was on his hands, and like he took the lashings for it. He was in solidarity and like isolation for it and was like punishing himself. And just the like psychology behind Long Won-ji's character and all the suffering Wei Wuxian went through, like he just wanted to be the best person that he could and like fight for the little guy, and literally everyone turned on him. Even somebody he was supposed to call his brother like turned on him. And just both of their characters and what they went through and their backstory in life is so sad. So like the whole show is just so sad.
Oh, I always felt so bad for Wei Wuxia.
Your turn, your fifth one.
My last one, I talked about this last time. It is What She Likes. I don't know if you ever had a chance to watch that.
I haven't seen it yet.
The Japanese one. Yeah, I'm still not over that one because it's so sad, and you're just like, especially the scene where like he's like on the school roof ish, and he's like going to fall, and that seems very intense. Don't want to say anything more because I don't know if you're gonna watch.
I do want to watch it. I like. Is it a series or a movie?
Okay, so it is. The series is way better than the movie. So go to the series.
Cool. Yeah, that'll have to go on my list.
Your next one.
So my number 5, I honestly really think in terms of like how emotional it is, I think it should be my number 2. But the other ones I just have more history with because I've been watching them longer. Mm-hmm. So I was more invested in those. But I think this one is definitely should like just on emotional like scale. If I was watching all of these shows for the first time, this would probably be number 2 on how emotional it made me. And it's Do, the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, Do or whatever, the movie. Yeah. Have you seen it?
I have not watched it yet.
Okay, I don't want to spoil too much, but as I said, I would probably put it number 2 if I was watching all these for the first time because it is so gut-wrenchingly sad, the ending of it. Mm-hmm. And it's shot so beautifully, like the cinematography is on par with Kin Porsche. Like it is shot very beautifully. So it's very easy to get invested in the 2 main characters' relationships. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those where like one small miscommunication turns into something so soul-crushingly sad. I definitely recommend watching. It is a very, very good movie. Very high quality.
Oh my, do I really want to cry though?
It's definitely one you got to prepare for because it's going to be emotionally taxing. It's going to take a toll.
So I think honorable mentions would have to go to Don't Say No, the series.
Okay.
Another one would have to be Cool Heart's character in
Love by Chance?
Yes. I guess it's kind of like that Antonin type because it's the same character.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think of the last one. Maybe The Effect? That's
I was going to put that on my list. I didn't, but I was going to.
Yeah. I feel like that's the only one that I can think of right now that was emotionally draining, and that was every time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so mine, the first one is Night Flight. Then my next one is The Miracle of Teddy Bear. And then my next one is, and that was Triage. My last 2 are ones I've talked about a few times on our podcast, and that's Your Name Engraved Herein and Theory of Love.